Welcome back to the Hungry Humble Human podcast, where we explore the real work behind meaningful leadership and human transformation. I'm Cheryl Marks Young, and today's episode is personal. It's also deeply practical for anyone feeling worn down by the invisible weight of anxiety, over responsibility, or the quiet pressure to keep it all together. This episode is inspired by a recent conversation on the One You Feed podcast hosted by Zimmer, featuring a powerful interview with the always insightful Martha Beck. The title was Beyond Anxiety: How Curiosity Turns Fear into Fuel, and I highly recommend giving it a listen. But today, I want to unpack how this theme shows up in our leadership and what we can do to rewire our relationship with fear and reconnect to clarity. There's a line from Martha Beck that hit me right between the eyes. She said, "If you're anxious, you fritter away the energy that you could have used being alert, prepared, engaging with your life, and creatively trying to figure out what to do." Let that settle in. How many of us, especially those of us in leadership, are burning through our best energy just trying to brace for the next thing? We think we're being prepared, but really, we're stuck in a kind of mental quicksand, rehearsing imaginary catastrophes instead of responding to real ones. And that brings me to something I've been exploring deeply with my clients and in my own personal work: the difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is instinctual. It's meant to alert us. It's the smoke alarm in the house. But anxiety? Anxiety is the ghost of fear. It lingers long after the danger has passed, or shows up before anything has even happened. When we lead from that space, we're not present. We're performing. We're preparing for things that may never come. And often, we're exhausting ourselves in the name of being responsible. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Martha talked about the cognitive shift between the left and right brain. And if you know me, you know I'm captivated by this. The left brain is where logic, linear thinking, and structure live. It's the part of us that plans meetings, builds strategy decks, and solves tangible problems. But when anxiety takes over, the left brain becomes our loudest narrator, spinning stories of doom, running loops of what if, and trying to solve problems that haven't even happened. Meanwhile, the right brain, the intuitive, creative, relational part, gets quiet. But that's the part that knows how to lead with wisdom, not just urgency. That's the part that connects dots, builds trust, and sees the bigger picture. The beautiful thing? Curiosity opens the door back to the right brain. Curiosity doesn't shut down fear. It integrates it. It allows us to ask, what's actually going on here? What might I be missing? What's possible in this situation beyond just what I'm afraid of? Curiosity doesn't need everything to be perfect. It just needs us to be present. And in a world that glorifies speed, certainty, and quick answers, this presence, this curiosity, it's radical, and it's a game changer for how we show up as leaders, parents, partners, and humans. So if you've been feeling stuck in over responsibility, if your brain feels like it's running 100 tabs, if fear is showing up disguised as strategy, I want to offer you a question, a gentle one. What if it's not about doing more, but about thinking differently? What if the way back to clarity isn't through control, but through curiosity? Thank you again to the One You Feed podcast, to Zimmer for always asking the real questions, and to Martha Beck for reminding us that the mind doesn't need to be tamed. It needs to be invited into something better. And thank you, as always, for being here with me. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment to share it with someone who's been carrying a lot lately. You never know what doors a single shift in perspective can open. Until next time, stay humble in the process, stay hungry for growth, and stay human in the way you lead.